And then Anthony Edwards got fined $100,000 for saying, I don't want to play fucking overtime, which he was right about, by the way. He just got his shit off. He just swore too much. And that was it. And speaking of Anthony
That
Edwards,
one was whack to me. Let him say that.
Him saying,
Who cares?
oh, you're saying the fine was whack. For
let him say that. Who gives a fuck?
For sure. And then this, well, I'm sorry. I was going to say, since we're on Anthony Edwards, the other thing that he's kind of in the news for recently is also while we were over break, he had the comment about, like, I fucking don't double me. Like, don't double me. I don't have fun playing this way. I don't want to do this. And people are killing him for that.
My big takeaway about that, and he's been cooking lately, so it seems like he's right back on course. But the number one thing that I got from that, everyone focused on the, like, complaining about double teams as though he was like, come on, guys, stop doubling me, other NBA teams. That's really rude of you. I think what he was talking about is how the roster construction is fundamentally different this year, which is causing him to be doubled way more often. And the subtext of what he was saying was criticizing that, not these teams for doubling him. I think Ant recognizes that teams are going to double him, but it's happening way more this year because Julius Randle isn't Karl Anthony Towns.
So
Jaden McDaniels is
that too, but I'm pretty sure he was kind of stinky last year too, at least as offensively.
I just thought it was real.
Yeah.
Like, it was one thing when Book said it in an open run, and everybody was like, his thing was you can't double team in an open run. We don't need to go back.
To me, that's way more reasonable. I'm trying to practice more or less.
Really? I think it's the...
You're in the NBA.
For sure,
the NBA,
I guess.
It's a bigger thing. Like, I understand being like, I'm trying to work on my one-on-one game, not how I'm dealing with double teams right now. We're just shooting around.
I'm not saying, like, it's cool to, like, say that it's stupid and it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's very real to be like, fuck, I hate when I can't just go out there and score 100 points the way that I'm used to do it. That's kind of the way that I took it. He wasn't, like, criticizing it as a practice. He's more just acknowledging it as, like, a, goddamn, this sucks and is annoying. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I just think the subtext was criticizing his own team without actually saying that.
Played a game against Detroit where he had 53, Kate had 40, and the Timberwolves lost by like 100. The Timberwolves were like never in that game. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
But Anthony Edwards this year, Alex, what do you got?
Listen, I think there's a lot of different ways you can look at it, because I think developmentally there's been some good takeaways for Anthony Edwards. Like, you can have some issues with, whether it's conducive to team success right now. Him doing the three-point shooting thing this year is a byproduct of its necessity. He has to do it because the spacing sucks right now. And there's a lot of different factors going into that. But I think there is no denying, like, he's having one of the best three-point shooting seasons in modern NBA. Like, I think Steph Curry has had a better season. Damian Lillard has had better three-point shooting. Steph Curry has had obviously tons of better seasons three-point shooting wise. Damian Lillard has had better three-point shooting seasons, probably Klay Thompson. But other than that, there's really not a ton of guys who have had or are having better three-point shooting seasons than Anthony Edwards is having right now. So I do think that is something that, like, you walk away from this season and you're like, yeah, you'd like him to be driving more, but how much can he realistically be driving with the kind of system that they're running right now? So that's one thing that I'm like, okay, this is fun to see him develop this. But it's like, I think Anthony Edwards likes to play a more diverse game than he's able to play right now. I think the double teaming thing is happening because he's taking so many threes, and they know, like, he's going to come off a screen and he's going to kill us if we give him that space. So they're like, we're going to hard hedge, we're going to trap, we're going to blitz you, and we're going to make you pass. And that's the smart thing to do from a defensive perspective, because one, you don't want him getting that 3-point shot because he's really dang good at them. And two, he's admittedly not the best passer in the world when you double team him. He's either making the pass one pass away, or he's at a highly at risk of turning it over, trying to make that pass to the short roll. It's a pass he's generally not particularly adept at making. So I think in some ways he's getting reps facing these coverages. That's a good thing. The team isn't very good. That's not a good thing. But I think ultimately the Timberwolves know all of this. This is all, I guess, whether or not you're happy about it. It's baked into what you signed up for. You knew this is how it was going to be when you got Julius Randle, when you gave Jaden McDaniels that ton of money. You knew Jaden McDaniels, there was a chance he wasn't going to be able to step up and be more of a scorer like you hoped he would. You knew Julius Randle was going to be potentially a clunky fit. You know, he's a flawed player. He's very good at some things, pretty bad at some others, really bad at some other things. And with Anthony Edwards, you know what Anthony Edwards wants to do. I think if you're the Timberwolves right now, you're sitting here looking at all this and you're saying, we want to make sure that we're getting the most out of Anthony Edwards. And I think the problem right now is they definitely aren't.
I hate Julius Randle.
Oh, wait.
I hate him.
Whoa.
Him.
Wait, whoa. Hold on. Weren't you one of the people 3 months ago who was in the camp of like...
No.
I swear you were. People who were like...
I was.
It was just you?
I definitely did this could work out just to cover my bases. I'm not basketball Nostradamus, so maybe I'm wrong. But I think I gave the Timberwolves like a C- on the trade. Didn't like it at all. And I specifically said the Timberwolves last year were one of the most fun teams that I've watched in a long time. I fucking loved watching that team. And I know for a fact that Julius Randle will ruin the viewing experience for me. I didn't realize how much it would fuck with them actually on the floor because Julius is still a good player. But I am at a point with fit when people go, ignore the fit, just look at the talent. No, I'm not doing that. I don't think that logic works because the other top rosters in the league have talent and it fits. There is no compromise in those categories for the best teams in the league. And the Timberwolves were trying to be one of the best teams in the league, and they can't just go, we'll figure it out with Julius Randle because it doesn't work. So my hope is that they will find a trade and get his ass off of this team because I think they are worse with him. Like, I don't know what the lineup data would tell you, but I would say they're probably fucking better with Naz Reid at the power forward position. So I hate Julius Randle. I didn't like him on the Knicks, and I especially hate him for ruining this team that I enjoyed so much. So yeah, fuck Julius Randle is my take.
I don't know if you can blame just entirely blame Julius Randle. And I understand what you're saying, and I think Julius Randle plays a big part in this. But let's look at the facts, okay? Mike Conley's old. He dang near gets played off the floor whenever he sees the floor because I love Mike Conley to death. I'm always going to love Mike Conley. And he still does some things very well. But now we're at the point where we're questioning whether the things that he does well outweighs the things that he can't do anymore. That's factor number one. Factor number two, Jaden McDaniels, he should give Julius Randle half his contract because Jaden McDaniels has been shielded from a lot of criticism because of Julius Randle's bad defensive play and clunky offensive fit. Because I tell you this, Jaden McDaniels shooting 33% from three isn't going to cut it when they're looking at him as like that third option. And then outside of that, you've got like the Rob Dillingham of it all. They're not even exploring what Rob Dillingham can do. It's like there's a lot more going wrong with this team right now than just Julius Randle. And I agree with the things that you said, but I think the Timberwolves have problems that are far more multifaceted than just Julius Randle stinks. Step one of fixing the problems is probably trading Julius Randle, but that's I don't want to say it's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's like getting a bunch of gauze and putting it in a bullet wound and like trying to stop the bleeding. It's like it's a good step, but you got to get to the hospittal quick.
Yeah,
okay.
It didn't work for Giovanni Ribisi in Saving Private Ryan when they were putting he died screaming for his mother when they were trying to capture a bunker. Jacob, what were you going to say?
Jaden McDaniels, the negative of the Jaden McDaniels offensive regression, which you could argue he just realistically just had a bad or a good shooting year once, and this is really the player that he always has been. But I think that is significantly better. It's not nearly as much of a problem if he isn't playing next to Julius Randle and he's just like, obviously it'd be great if he shot the 3 ball well, but I don't think that's the expectation for him at this point. And if it was him at the 4 and a 3 who just shoots the ball really well rather than Julius Randle, the negative of his floor spacing, like the negative of Randle's floor spacing and the negative of McDaniel's floor spacing compounds on each other, and it makes both of them worse.
Jacob, what do you think Julius Randle is shooting from 3 this season?
I don't doubt that it's okay, but I also
personally, my opinion is Julius Randle's spacing hasn't been a big problem. I mean, he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's like 36%, but I don't know if he's the reason their spacing is bad.
But what percentage of those are fucking open is my thing. Like, they are not.
I get what you're. Listen, I'm saying just in a vacuum.
Fearful of his 3 ball at all. I don't think I don't think an NBA team cares if Julius Randle hits a 3 on them.
I think they are helping off of other guys before they're helping off of Julius Randle.
Sure, but again, I'm telling you, McDaniel's at the 4, floor spacer at the 3, way better equation. Or he's at the 3, floor spacer at the 4, like a legitimate spacer, whether that's Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know what Naz Reid is shooting this year. He can be a little up and down. But, like, the source of the double teams is that they're confident that they can throw 2 to the ball on Anthony Edwards, and they're not going to get a look that they're afraid to give up. Whether it's a Julius Randle 3 or a McDaniel's 3, whatever. They accept that far more than they accept Anthony Edwards dunking on their head.
Yeah, but when they're sending that double team, it's not coming off of Julius Randle. It's coming off of whoever the screener's defender.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
because they know he's not going to make that short roll pass.
Right. Well, it definitely isn't helping. But what I'm saying is we had a model with the Timberwolves that worked before, when they had a historic floor spacer out of the power forward spot, and then they swapped it for this guy who's primarily an interior presence, who I think just kind of sucks. I really don't think Julius Randle is that good, truthfully.
Well, I think you and I are saying the same. We're doing the thing where we're saying the same thing and acting like we're arguing.